at the end. Actually, we want it to be a little gritty if we can, because that's going to make things a lot easier to deal with when we paint, because we're going to give it kind of a texture. Okay, that's a little bit better. I kind of like that a little bit more. My hands are completely covered in dough. It's pretty good. It's a better consistency. I like that. You can see here it doesn't flatten as easy. So check your consistency. It shouldn't flatten too easy. Okay. And that's pretty good. So anyway, now that you have your consistency pretty good, I'm going to let it sit for a second. I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands, because it's going to be really difficult to move any of this stuff anywhere. Let me check my computer real quick here. Sorry. Okay, I'm sure that's on there. I'm just going to go ahead and wash these pans off so they're nice and clean. It's a lot easier to work that way. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I go to Skyrim, I like to say go to Skyrim because I feel like it's a vacation. I spent most of my time doing stupid crap, like chasing butterflies and things like that. So there's a lot of strange stuff I've seen in Skyrim that I'd like to recreate. I'm sure, of course, you have too. There's always something that means something to somebody. And one of the first quests I came across that I really liked, and it was by accident, was the Wabbajack quest. So at some point, I'm hoping in the future that we're going to make a Wabbajack, because I definitely want one of those. And to be honest, Player One and I are talking about doing some LARPing with some friends, and I'd love to have a Wabbajack so that I could, you know, hit people with it and then throw some sweet rolls at them. Like, you are now sweet rolls. So, all right. So now my hands are clean again. We have this consistency going that I like, and gonna separate that out a little bit here. Got our bowl over here. All right, so now we're gonna roll this into a nice tight ball. I'm gonna try to get rid of as many of those kind of veins that form as you can. So you can take a look and see there. All right. The idea is now that when we put our giant's toe down, our giant toe is going to be pretty big. Let me size it down just a little bit more. And actually, I forgot to mention the ingredient bowl. I found these also at a thrift store. I guess they're kind of hotsy-totsy, but you should be able to find them at a garage sale, eBay, things like that. I got 4 of them for $1.45 at Salvation Army. They're real wood. They kind of look like the ones from the game. I don't know if you can see them or not. Apparently they're made by Weavewood Incorporated in Minneapolis. So you might want to check them out. I get this feeling that they're like decent bowls. They're not supposed to be used for crafts. But hey, $1.45, you can't go wrong, right? Gotta have a hobby. Gotta treat ourselves nice sometime. So only thing is, though, I gotta peel these little stickers off. So go ahead and do that. Once you get yours, obviously don't leave stickers on anything. Don't leave plastic on anything. We're going to want our giant toe to at least fit in here. So we have 2 other ingredients we're going to be using to make our potion. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side. Now I have my pan here, and actually, is it greased? Nope, you know what? I forgot to grease it. Don't forget to do that, because you don't want your giant's toe to stick to that. It'll be terrible, trust me. Worst thing you get is a sticky giant's toe. So I have a little tiny bit of Goya extra virgin olive oil, because there's nothing that giants like better than extra virgin olive oil. You can go ahead and add just a tiny little dollop of that in there, just enough to kind of coat it. There we go. And you're going to want to spread that around with a tiny piece of paper. I'm going to use a little bit of the towel I set aside for earlier, just a little tiny piece. Doesn't have to be anything big. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of grease that up a little bit, not too much. We want to be able to paint our toe, when we're done, we want the bottom side painted too. So we're going to make sure that we don't over grease the pan. So just lightly grease it. Try to get the rest of the junk up off of it. So your little towel should look like that, and your pan should look like that. I'm going to go ahead and just throw that over here. Okay? And you can go ahead and kind of wipe a little bit of residue off there. Just putting that there back again. And I'm actually going to set my giant toe in here while I'm sculpting. Hope this dough isn't too flat. It feels as though it's not as thick as it normally is. When you make the dough, if you add too much flour and not enough salt, and if you add certain components in different ways, basically too much flour will make it crack. Not enough salt will make it too hard to work with, and too much water makes it really super droopy. This is not too bad consistency. It's not the perfect consistency I'd like to work with. If I had more time, I would probably redo it again, but we'll see what we come up with here. So, like I said, we're going to make this ball again. Make sure it's nice put together like that. It's a little bit of an oblong shape. Take a look at your own toe. Now, giant toes, as we know, kind of, when they're in the game, they kind of have like this end that looks kind of gross, like there's a piece of bone sticking out. So we're going to go ahead and take care of that in a little while. First things first, though, kind of sculpt your toe like this. Okay, it's going to be about that kind of oblong like that. See it? I'm going to set it down in there. Okay, so when you're going in here, I have my toenail. See my toenail right there? You can see. Now, just like a real thumb or a real toenail, not a finger, obviously, it's going to curve. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a look at our giant's toe. I'm going to fluff it back up again. There's nothing that we don't like as much as a non-fluffy giant toe, if that is such a thing. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change up the size of this a little bit. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. You have an X-Acto set here. I like X-Actos because I think they're more precise in the cutting. So I'm going to shave a little bit off on this side. You can see here I'm going to start mid. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. Probably turn this over like that. I need something that I can't cut on. Don't have my cutting board out. Well, I suppose I can cut the bottom of my bowl. I wouldn't recommend this at home, but since it's going to be at the bottom, you can't see it anyway. And it is wood, like a cutting board. So I'm going to go ahead and curve that one area off. I'm going to just take off a little bit of this nub right there. So, okay, see, a little bit smaller there now. I'm going to go ahead and put away my X-Acto knife. With the side anyway. And clean up my area a little bit. So we have some room to work. Don't need the salt out at the moment. These paints can be put to the side. I have these two little tools out here. Now these tools are great for a number of reasons. My friend Wolf Spirit actually gave this to me, along with a huge set of other artist tools you can use for woodworking and for metalworking. These are in particular used for metalworking. So if you take a look at them, you can see up close. They have little notches on them. Give me a set of about 15 of them, so thank you very much. They are being put to good use today, besides carving the little minis. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back over here for now. So here's our giant toe. Now, as you can see, I want this end kind of sticking out, like the giant didn't take care of his feet at all. Like, you know, he's been stomping around Skyrim, kicking ass all day. You know, gets home, just wants to have a beer, doesn't want to worry about his feet because, you know, he's a giant. He's got better things to do. So, see this right here? I'm going to keep that. So I'm going to go ahead and find my giant toe right about here. And as you can see, there's kind of a divot there. When somebody doesn't really take care of their toenails and stuff like that, they tend to be flat and kind of, you know, I always call them gahomi. So we're going to keep this end to the top. So go ahead and find a place on your toenail where you think it'll be good. Go ahead and press it in. Okay, see where I'm going with this? It's already starting to look a little bit like a toenail, right? And you're thinking, oh God, oh no, what about the plastic? Well, guess what? We're just using that to kind of shape the area. So we're going to kind of pull it off a little bit like that. It's going to look a little jacked up. It's okay. Don't worry about it. That area, if it gets raised, and it's all going to change. It's going to puff up a little bit. We just want that general area to kind of go in. Kind of like that. So we have almost a pattern. Keep an eye on where it's going. So I'm going to go ahead and push this in. You can kind of just make little divots around there. You can move it with your finger if you like. Doesn't matter. That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and push this up a little bit like that. When we're done at the end, we can go ahead and saw kind of some of this down. Now I'm looking at my giant's toe, and yeah, it kind of sort of looks like a giant's toe, but it's missing some things. I'd say right now that it's missing kind of that weird indentation you get in the center here. You know, when you bend your toenail and things like that. It's also missing some hair. So we're going to make some indentations for some hair we're going to add later, which is kind of gross and awesome. And I'm also going to kind of indent the giant's toe right here. So you can use something cylinder shaped and kind of just bump it in a little bit like that. Okay? See how I'm kind of bumping it on that side? It's a little bit difficult to get in, but all right. Kind of looks a little jacked right there, but that's okay. So we're going to worry about that whole end piece after it's baked, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that. We're actually going to kind of saw the end off so it looks kind of bloody and gross. So I have my oven set at 375 right now. I am going to slip this in a moment. I'm going to use this right here, the same toenail that I'm going to put at the top, and I'm going to kind of use it to make these divots in it. Okay? All right, see, just like that. Okay, so you can go ahead and slip that into the oven now. Now, as it rises, it's going to get fatter. It should get fatter. It should get taller. It's just going to get generally all around bigger. Hopefully, it doesn't get flatter. If it does, well, then you know what? We'll just try it again next time, or you can try it at home and adjust your own recipe. Maybe let me know if you added something. This is kind of a preliminary one. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the oven right now. You can take a look at that. See how that toenail is going to go on there and fit when it's done. I'm going to go ahead and push this up a little bit more again. Since I've been moving it to show you guys, it's kind of been scooting. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there now. I'm going to keep an eye on it. And I don't say a particular time for it because, well, it's just a bad idea. You just got to keep watching it. But I do put on increments because I don't know about you guys, but I am terrible when it comes to baking anything. So there is like a 70% chance that the son of a gun is going to burn. So I need to put a timer on to remind myself to check it. So I'm going to put it on for 17 minutes right now. Let's just start with 17. I always start with 17 for some reason. Okay. So while you guys are doing that, I'm going to take a break for 1 second, wash my hands, and come back. Stay tuned. We're going to move on to the book now. And actually, you know what? No, we won't move on to the book. We're going to move on to the other ingredients here. We'll do that first. Let's see here. Yeah. As soon as I come back and wash my hands, we're going to do the other ingredients. So we're going to need hanging gloss. And what I did here is I got these just pieces of flour from a dollar store. I tore them off. You can see they look a little weird, kind of like the hanging gloss in the game. They're kind of spiny. So I have two options that we can do that with. I'll show you when I get back. You can either buy this coarse turf that they get from like stores that are hobby stores to make trees or turf and things like that, or you can simply paint over it. Okay? I think we're probably going to do a combination of both tonight so we can see how that turns out. All right, so I'll put that to the side. And then we'll also be making some quick bear claws as well. And we'll throw those in towards the end of our thumb cooking. We're going to use the same dough that we used earlier, but it's going to be in there for less long, so we don't want it to get burnt and then crack. So we'll put that in probably when it starts to get kind of hard and brown in the oven. So I'll be right back. You guys get a chance to get a soda or a snack or something. I'm going to wash my hands and go out and get my books. so we can start painting our instruction book. And if you want to take a moment,